Peace in, love out, namaste. How are you feeling, everyone? So it's late night. Hello to all of you night owls. It is 2:45 a.m. here in Los Angeles, and I don't know what's keeping you up, why you are not asleep. Some of us just find an energy in the night. I know that one of my favorite styles of painting are called nocturnes, and there are these beautiful night scenes, and we've seen them with artists like Charles Rollo Peters and Whistler, and there's always something that's so evocative about them because they have this nice interplay with light, right? And the light is always placed in a way where it seems to welcome you in the midst of all of this kind of consuming darkness. There's this space of warmth, right? And so I always find energy and a sense of vibrancy in the night, and I guess you do too. That's why you're up late. And so thank you for joining me for this Dharma study. Let's take a moment to affirm ourselves before we continue on. I invite you to say this affirmation with me. I have value and I have worth because I am of noble birth. And with this breath, I will awaken to all that's possible within my life. I will lead and I will achieve. I will lead and I will achieve. Nicely done, Sangha. If you said that simple affirmation, you are well on your way towards your ennobled heart, towards an awakened heart, towards this boundless sense. And so today I want to talk to you about living with excellence, or as we're going to say here, an excellence of heart, right? An excellence of heart. The Dharma reminds us over and over again about the importance of not being careless, of not being reckless, of not being so consumed by our passions, or inflamed by our emotions, that we forget that we are called to be diligent, that we are called to be steadfast, that we are called to not be reckless or careless, but we are supposed to pursue a goal with our nobility in mind. And so I have a verse that I want to share with you, and it comes from the Dharma, and it is verse 38. And it says, wisdom never becomes perfect in one whose mind is not steadfast, who knows not the good teaching, and whose faith wavers. Right? Wisdom never becomes perfect in someone's mind who is not steadfast. If you want to inhabit this quality of wisdom, but you're not meditating on a regular basis, you're not fully showing up to your life, you're not examining your inner experiences, you're not fully bearing witness to what's occurring as it arises and as it subsides, there may be some difficulty. There may be some misalignment. And so, wherever you are in the world today, I would like to encourage you to be steadfast in your pursuit of wisdom, right? To be diligent in your journey towards mindfulness. And that may mean that there's an element of rigor that you'll have to exhibit in order to show up and to fully be present to your life. And then there are times when you may feel like, oh, I just don't feel like doing this. I don't want to do this, right? I would rather go do something that is filled with ease, right? That I can distract myself. I'd rather veg out in front of the TV. I'd rather put on Netflix and just get lost. I'd rather drift away in a sea of YouTube videos or play a video game to just forget about the thing that I don't want to address. Well, mindfulness says you must be steadfast in your pursuit of wisdom, that you have to have and maintain a sense of diligence, right? This is a noble pursuit that we are engaging in. This is a reminder that we have this inner capacity to meet the adversity that we face, the challenges that we face, the struggles and the obstacles that invariably will come along our path because they are baked into the very fabric of life. The Dharma says that in our life we will experience 8 worldly winds, right? Gain and loss, pleasure and pain, fame and disrepute, right? All of these things, they arise and they subside within our lives. And the question becomes, will we maintain a sense of an excellence of heart in our pursuits? Will we maintain that sense, or will we get caught up in the shallow pools of our lives? You know, a large boat in a shallow harbor, when it comes to great destruction, the boats of your life, it must be carried away in the deep waters, in the deep waves. When a storm is coming to shore, they send the boats out, right, to not be against the harbor, to not be against the docks so that they can't be knocked back and forth, right? That there is a greater safety in entering the deep water than staying in the shallow ends when the storm approaches. And today, some of you may have a storm within your life. Today, some of you may have some uncertainty and some doubt in your life. And the question becomes, how do you meet it? What resolve do you bring to it? What level of skill and care will you allow to bear witness to it? You see, so many of us, when the storms come, we tie ourselves up to the dock, we bunker down, we hunker down, we try to hide and hope that it all passes. And when the waves finally begin to crash and the winds finally begin to blow and the storm surge comes rushing in, we just get battered against the shoreline, right? And the struggles, they amplify. The anger, it intensifies. The displeasure and the uncertainty, it all manifests itself larger and larger, and the question becomes, how do you meet those experiences? Well, the Dharma says this: wisdom never becomes perfect in a mind that is not steadfast. Who knows not the good teaching and whose faith wavers? And so there it outlines how we cultivate wisdom in the midst of the storm. It says, maintain a steadfast mind. Right? A mind that has focus, a mind that has clarity, a mind that has insight. We cultivate that through our mindfulness practice. It goes on to say, who knows not the good teaching, this teaching of an awakening, that it is possible for you to have a boundless heart, the teaching that reminds you of your nobility, that you have this capacity to meet whatever arises. And it is a part of your origin story. It's not there dependent on someone else. Someone else doesn't have to co-sign on it. Someone else doesn't have to believe it. Someone else doesn't have to approve it. Someone else doesn't have to verify it. Someone else doesn't have to somehow, in some way, give their authorization. No, the Dharma says from your very origin, from your very start, from your very inception, you had a quality of nobility about you. And it is intrinsic. It is your essence. It is your very ground of being. And at any moment, you can reach down and touch the very ground of your being. At any moment, you can reach down and bear witness to whatever arises. At any moment, you can remember who you are. And the first act of mindfulness, the very first act of mindfulness, the very first moment, the very first sign of awakening and enlightenment in this practice of mindfulness is this very act of reaching down and touching the ground, your ground of being, your ground of existence. And you may be saying, you know what, I'm in my office, I'm on my Zooms, I got a lot of things on my plate. I don't have time for this. And the Dharma says, you have to take time to make time, right? You have to be steadfast. You have to remember the teachings of an awakened heart, of a boundless heart. And finally, it says that, and whose faith doesn't waver. You don't want to have your faith waver in the midst of the storm. Doubt is before you commit. The time for doubt is before you start the business. The time for doubt is before you apply for the graduate program. The time for doubt is before you write the manuscript. The time for doubt is before you create the invention, right? That the time for this wavering faith, there is a time and a space for it. But if you are trying to manifest wisdom in your life and a sense of excellence of heart within your life, then it requires you to not have your faith waver, right? And it's not just faith in the sense of a fantasy that it's like just a blind optimism that, oh, it will one day somehow get better. No, this is a sense of a bond, right? When they talk about faith in the Dharma, it is a sense of like a trust, a bond, a surety, a guarantee, right? Something that you can step out onto. And so remember those things when you are trying to navigate towards wisdom. It says you perfect it through having a steadfast mind, knowing the good teaching of an awakened heart, and not wavering in faith. Sometimes you have to convey the confidence, project the confidence, even when you don't necessarily feel it resonating within you. And so that is our practice, and that is the invitation of it. And so I'm going to encourage you today to live with excellence of heart. And we're going to help cultivate that through our meditation. And so in just a few moments, we're going to take our seats in meditation, and I'll affirm you, and I'll affirm the dreams that you hold and the vision that has been imprinted upon your heart. And I'll hold a space for what you're going through, the challenges you are facing, and that you cultivate a sense of wisdom within your life, and that you cultivate a sense of destiny within your life, and you cultivate this sense of faith within your life, of a bond, of trust within your life, breath after breath, moment after moment. And so I invite you to come and find a seat, come into an upright and comfortable seated position as we prepare for our meditation. Coming into an upright and comfortable seated position. Closing your eyes if it's safe and comfortable to do so. Taking a deep breath in to settle into your practice. Breathing in and out. Breathing in, breathing out. We're simply holding this space, meeting our experiences as they arise and as they subside. Slowing down and bearing witness to whatever arises. Slowing down, paying attention. Hold at this space. I, within this moment, affirm the vision that you hold for your life. And within this moment, I affirm the person who holds the vision. I affirm the values that guide the person who holds the vision. And I affirm the spark that ignites the values that guide the person who holds the vision. May out of this meditation, new businesses be formed, new relationships be developed, teams expand, revenue increase, prosperity abound, kindness be found, gentleness be met, empathy and wisdom be restored, grace and ease be met, breath by breath, moment by moment. Well, practice Sangha, what a privilege it was to be able to meditate with you for just a few moments, to practice this quality of mindfulness, this presence of being, and to share the Dharma. This is my purpose, this is my calling, this is my métier, this is why I am here, to do this work. And so I thank you for taking a moment to bear witness to my vision and to see my purpose. And I hope to reflect that back one day so that you may see yours and honor yours as well. All right, everyone. Until next time, put one finger up for love if you hold a space for love within your heart. One love. Put two fingers up for peace if you rep peace, if you think peace is important within your homes and your communities. Put three fingers up for this mindful community. That means for you, that means for me, that means for we, for all of us. Now bring it all in to awaken your heart. And may your mind be free. Many deep bows of gratitude to you all today. May you lead and achieve in your life. Double heart taps if you got joy. Double heart taps if you got peace. Double heart taps if you meditate. Double heart taps for you. Double heart taps for me. Peace in, love out. Namaste.